Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I am your host, the Fellow KGB. You can follow me on Twitter at the Fellow KGB. And today, waiver wire show targets for week 13. We're going to be doing this a little bit quicker today. I'm just going to throw out some names for you guys, show you guys what I'm looking at. So the way that I make my watch list, we got 30 players on the list. I like to filter by the last 7 days, and then I look for guys whose percent rostership sticks out a little bit. So I have a handful. If you play in like an 8 or a 10-man league, I have a handful of guys that should be owned towards the top of the list here. The majority of these guys averaged over 30 points per game the last 7 days. So that's going to be Joe Ingles, Kelden Johnson, Danilo Gallinari, Brook Lopez, Tim Hardaway Jr., you got Robert Williams, Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma's a big one with LeBron James being out for at least the next couple weeks. You also have Kevin Huerter, Rui Hachimura. So all of these guys are 50% owned and up. And I guess if we just kind of take a look at some of their numbers, let me just zoom out one more time. Joe Ingles has been on a tear the last handful of games here. So he's been playing some really good minutes, scoring at a really high clip. He's going to, of course, stuff the rebounds, assists, and pop in some steals every now and then. But a 35, a 49, 26, and a 20. He's got a pretty safe high floor. He'll do this every now and then with a 5 and a 9. But as of late, he's trending upwards right now. Kelden Johnson continues to play fantastic for his rookie season. 58-point game the other day here, so you're chasing that, but we're just hoping he settles somewhere in this 28 to 33 range. If he can kind of keep that up, he did have a little bit of a lull here in the beginning of March, but he's starting to pick it up. So Kelden Johnson, 62% owned. Robert Williams, I think, needs to be owned. This guy is a high fantasy points per minute player. He had a 51-point game, a 42-point game not too long ago. The minutes, we want the minutes to start getting more consistent into this 22 to 27 average here. But if you look at his last 7 days, his minutes are up, his points are up, his rebounds are up, assists are up, steals down a little bit, and the blocks are up. So this is an ascending young player. He should get a lot more run as the season progresses. And then you just got some veterans throughout here. Kevin Huerter, Rui Hachimura are some solid young talents here who will continue to see a lot of minutes. But Rui, he's been playing a ton of minutes. You see 40, 39, 38. You look at his last 7-day stats compared to his season stats, like everything's up. Pretty, like, I guess the ones that matter are points and rebounds, assists, steals, that's all kind of the same, but these points and the rebounds are up significantly. So Rui Hachimura needs to be owned. Now, if you're looking for guys that are a little bit more obscure, these guys are under 50% owned. We got 2 guys here in the 40% range, 42 for TJ McConnell and Ivica Zubac here at 40. McConnell's been one of the sneakiest players, especially for assists. He had that rare triple-double not too long ago with the steals, but if you can kind of just ride the bumps, he's going to give you some of these massive games. He had that 70-point game not too long ago, a 53 last week. So he's you just got to ride him out, play him for the week, get 3-4 games out of him, and hopefully he'll deliver one of these massive games for you because he's been putting up some double-digit assist games pretty regularly throughout this season. So if his minutes are going to be there, you're going to want to fall into those points. You also have Zubac here, who is just we need him to play a lot of minutes. I like his minutes or points per minutes here. Hopefully he can settle around this 20 points per game average here. He does have a stinker every now and then, but for the most part, Zubac is a pretty solid ad here. Now we got Justin Holiday. This is under 40%. You got Justin Holiday. You got Jakob Poeltl here. Dwight Howard, who's filling in for Joel Embiid. You got Danny Green. And now we're dipping into the 20% here. So I know that the majority of these guys are going to be available. So whether that's Jordan Poole, Josh Hart, Daniel Tice, Jayshawn Tate, Sadiq Bay, good rookie here. You got a lot of names on this list. And then the one way that I'm going to help filter and give you guys some of my favorite ads is we're just going to filter by fantasy points, over the last 7 days here. And the one that sticks out is kind of Moses Brown. He's averaging 33.3 points per game here. Couple double-doubles, 2 of the last 3 games, double-doubles. We want his minutes to stay hot, but this is a guy who's had his worst game's been 16 points over the last 6 games. I would like him to settle somewhere in this 24 points per game range, but a 53, you see a 30, there's some big potential here for the young guy. Now, a lot of his minutes are going to be attached to what Al Horford's status is. So we got to watch for Al Horford. It's going to be an interesting week with the trade deadline on Thursday. We'll have a live show Thursday night and we'll kind of cover anything that happens up to that point. But now we got Lamar Stevens here. There's only a 1-game sample, but in that 1 game, 15 points, 11 rebounds. This is a guy that I'm just going to add to my watch list. When he's played, well every now and then. But the other night here on the 19th, 15 points, 11 rebounds. I think that was his first career double-double. So just keep an eye on Lamar Stevens there. I like Jakob Poeltl quite a bit, and probably for the rest of the season because we know Aldridge is not coming back. And he's got a decent floor here, but he's also going to pitch in a couple 30-point games every now and then, and hopefully he can find a 21, 22-point floor going forward. This 18.5 might be like his floor. So I like Pirtle quite a bit for the rest of the year. We know he's going to be the main center there, unless they add someone. But again, trade deadline, there's going to be a lot of things moving. Alec Burks, this is an interesting one. He's had 2 back-to-back really good games, 44 and 38 points. His floor over basically the last month, he's got a couple 10-point games, but he's starting to pick it up, 17, 19 points. That might be his floor. You see the minutes have spiked here, 30, 33, 36. The scoring is fantastic. That's what you want for him in a points league. So Alec Burks is playing some really good ball right now. Talked about Robert Williams, Jordan Poole. He's going to continue to get a lot of minutes. He's a really good scorer. You see 26, 25, 23. This might be the best add, I think, of the group here, because once a player starts scoring this many points, this consistently, he's going to continue to see a ton of minutes here. So just 3 straight games of massive points here. He'll chip in every now and then with the rebounds and the assists, but we're after the points here for fantasy. So if I would be shocked if he keeps it up. I think maybe around this 22, 23. I think that's where I'm going to expect him to make his floor. But I like him quite a bit going forward. So Jordan Poole, and as long as Curry's got that that banged up, I think it was the ankle. We'll see what happens. There's no timetable yet for Curry, so I like Jordan Poole quite a bit here. You get the veteran Danny Green averaging about 30 points. Now, all of these guys that I have on the screen from Danny Green and up, these guys are all averaging 30 points per game over the last 7 days. If we filter that by the last 15 days, let's see here. Only 4 of them are averaging over 30 points. That's Brook Lopez, Alec Burks, Danilo Gallinari, and Robert Williams. I'm going to double down, say Robert Williams might be the best pickup this week right now. If he's available, he's only going to get more playing time as the season goes on. They want to get him more involved before the playoffs. Brook Lopez continues to just be really steady for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's only 58% rostered, so there's a small chance he's available for you. But let's look at Danilo Gallinari. Now, I think I've talked about Gallinari the last 2 waiver wire shows, and he's finally, being consistent. Ever since that 52-point game, we got that radar before the All-Star break. He comes back, and he just keeps putting up the numbers. You see a 32, a 25, a 30, a 42, a low game of 19, and a 36. So I'm going to take that. If he can somehow keep this up, we know they've had a lot of injuries over there in Atlanta, and he's got really consistent minutes. All of his numbers are up basically. I guess the ones that matter again are the points and the rebounds. Those are the ones that have improved the most, but his minutes are up almost 6 minutes per game over the last 7 days. So some really good numbers there. I think Kyle Kuzma, we've talked about him enough on the show, but he's only 55% owned. He needs to be owned while LeBron James is out. He's going to be one of their main scorers. You might even see him, start racking up some 20-point games again. So we'll see if he can kind of pick things up while LeBron is on the mend here. Now, James, here's another name for you guys, James Ennis. He's a really good scorer. He's not going to help too much in other categories, but when he gets the opportunity to play good minutes, he's going to get good fantasy points. So he had 21 minutes, 18 points, 5 rebounds the other day. Now, I think there's been some injuries to whether it's Evan Fournier or Terrence Ross. That's what's going to allow him to be a really good start. So he might be a guy that you just pick up for a day or two. If they have a back-to-back, you try to just get 30, 40 points out of the 2 games. But I like Ennis quite a bit, and he's really low owned. So if you just want to pick up a guy for a night or just want to hold on and see what he's doing, I think that's a good one to add to your watch list. Sadiq Bay has been playing good. He's finally starting to turn the corner here as a rookie. You see his last 7 days, he had a career high 28 points in a 12-rebound game, 52 fantasy points, a couple games of 20, actual points here. That's good to see. You see a 35, a 52, a 28, a 17, a 25. He's got to get rid of these bad games here. Just a bad game last night. 36 minutes and only 6.5 fantasy points. Whew, we can't have that. But I like Sadiq Bay quite a bit. He's going to continue to pour on the minutes. If you look at his last 7 days compared to his season stats, he's up about 9 minutes per game, up about 4 points, almost up 2 rebounds, almost a half an assist more, roughly, almost half a steal more. So his numbers are trending up. Don't sleep on Sadiq Bay. He's going to continue to get the opportunity with the minutes. Daniel Tice has been turning things around. Let's see here. Over his last 4 games, you see a 34, a 30, a 9.5, a 37, a 1.5. So he's really risky. You see a 6, a 1.5, and we don't want those. But if he's giving us 30 points, almost every other game, that kind of makes it worth it. So I like Daniel Tice. I don't love it, but he does have the opportunity to get some really nice double doubles. His minutes and everything are up here. You see the minutes are up, the points are up, the boards are up, the assists are up, steals and blocks. Those are kind of about the same here. And then I guess the other Laker to keep an eye on with LeBron James out is going to be Talon, Horton, Tucker. This guy, he's going to be one of their main scorers, while LeBron's out. He's had a pretty high floor here. If you just look at his last 5 games, 19 and 11, I think he'll get that figured out as he gets more minutes. I would expect him to be somewhere in this 26 to 28 minutes per game. He's probably going to be scoring consistently in the double digits. And then I think it just really depends on if it's a good rebounding or assist game. So I think he needs to be owned while LeBron James is out. You can see he's available in this league. I should think about that. But I don't know. There's a lot of good names here. Isaiah Roby, Reggie Bullock, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We didn't talk about them. Marcus Morris Sr. A lot of good names here. So I hope that helped. If you guys like these kind of quicker, shorter videos, let me know in the comments. But that's kind of it. Those are some of the names I just wanted to throw out for you guys. Hope you guys can grab some of them. I know I probably missed a couple guys on the waiver wire that do make sense, but these were my favorite. So I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out some of the other videos we got going on. And we'll see you guys in another video.